I am Nick Roloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports, and we have a lot to talk about in terms of injury news and who is going to start at quarterback for Miami this Monday night against the Tennessee Titans at home in Week 4, because there is a lot of uncertainty at quarterback. Mike McDaniel could not state a starter right now, and he did say that one will be likely named over the next 24, 48 hours because he believes it is a benefit to the team to have a clear-cut starter with them getting first-team reps throughout the week of practice. And I completely agree, but it's all a question about who Mike McDaniel is going to name. Well, Skylar Thompson, who started last week and left in the third quarter with a chest injury, is labeled as day-to-day by head coach Mike McDaniel. And I think it's important to know where he's at, but if we're also going to be honest here, folks, and I mean this personally, I said before Week 3 I didn't have faith in Skylar Thompson, and I feel like I was vindicated in a way because he performed very, very poorly, and really so did that entire offense on Sunday against Seattle. But I don't think even if he is fully healthy, he should be starting at home against the Tennessee Titans because he just did not show me enough positive things to take away from to where I can feel confident about him winning a game against the Tennessee Titans, who is one of the best pass defenses in all football, by the way, and one of the best defenses entirely. I think you need to go with the more experienced guy who has had more success on this roster, which is Tyler Huntley, which we'll talk more about here in just a second. But do share this video, by the way, and I have a fun little game to play here. Every 20 shares we get on this show, I'm going to go on a mile run, which means if you get 40 shares on this show, I'm going to do a 2-mile run. I'll post it on our community page, the proof that I actually got this done. But share this video to a friend or family member for them to get more informed because there's a lot of Dolphins news in this show. All right, when we talk about the quarterback situation moving forward, Mike McDaniel said that Huntley or Tim Boyle could start. Didn't rule out Skylar Thompson just yet, but I do feel like with him being up in the air in terms of his status and being day-to-day, it's likely going to be one of Tyler Huntley or Tim Boyle. And I get it. Tim Boyle's been on this roster for longer than Tyler Huntley. He has been here since the start of the season on the Dolphins practice squad, got signed the day before the Week 3 game off the practice squad to the 53-man. But you signed Tyler Huntley off the Ravens practice squad for a reason. He's the more experienced quarterback, having a 3-6 career record as a starter. Tim Boyle, he's 0-5. Skylar Thompson now 1-3 after this past week, including a couple of his starts in 2022. Huntley has had more productive numbers. He's also had more wins, granted with a good roster over in Baltimore that has an offense tailor-made to his skill set. But I still don't think that it's that crazy to believe that he can run this offense. And Mike McDaniel at the press conference today, said that he has some packages for Huntley because it's very similar to the RG3 offense he was running schematically when he was a coach on that Commanders team, or Redskins at the time, in 2013. So there are definitely plays in scheme points in this offense that are tailor-made for Tyler Huntley. But McDaniel also did say there is a possibility of adding another quarterback to this roster. Now, would that quarterback potentially be starting in Week 4 against the Titans? Absolutely not. It'd be one of the 3 guys currently on the active 53-man. But I do find it intriguing that there are at least conversations, and Chris Grier is potentially looking into adding another guy, and who could they possibly release? Well, you might see the end of Skylar Thompson in the 305. Or maybe it's Tim Boyle getting put back to the practice squad or released all in general. But there is the possibility that Miami goes out and adds a quarterback. I doubt it would be a trade of some sort because I've mentioned this on yesterday's show. If you trade for a quarterback, you'd only get them for 2 starts. Assuming Tua plays in Week 8 against Arizona when he's eligible to. He wouldn't play this week, so you'd only get him in Week 5 against New England. You have a bye in Week 6, and then you have it Week 7 in Indianapolis. So I don't really see them adding a quarterback via trade, but maybe they go out and sign one. Be the GM for me. Be Chris Grier. Should the Dolphins add another quarterback to the active 53-man roster? If you think they should, type your Y's. If you think they're all good and should stick with the 3 they currently have, type your N for no's. All right, let's continue some talking points on quarterbacks here because Tua Tagovailoa is actually meeting with some neurologists this week. And it was reported that he was going to meet with neurologists last week. But ultimately, the plan, according to Mike McDaniel, was always for Tua to have those meetings this week. Now, I don't know if it was a schedule mix-up or what happened last week, but either way, Tua's meeting here and this week. So this is where they're going to develop a plan for when Tua can return and when he will be able to be on the football field again. So stay alert for those potential updates on QB1. But I do have to imagine he is going to try to return in Week 8 against the Cardinals when he's eligible to, just due to the fact that he traveled with the team to Seattle, was on the sideline in a hostile environment. Why wouldn't he be able to go in Week 8 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from the injury actually occurring, if he was already traveling with the team in the locker room and on the sidelines on Sunday? I believe Tua is going to play in Week 8 against Arizona, but we'll see what him and the neurologist come up with when they meet this week. Let's talk about some more injury news surrounding the Miami Dolphins on these two players. More concussion possibilities for Miami. Terron Armstead, the left tackle, and Kendall Fuller, the cornerback, both left Week 3's game against Seattle in the first half, did not return, and Mike McDaniel said they were both in the concussion protocol at his press conference today. And that is big news for Miami because they need both of these guys. Kendall Lamb did a fine job actually stepping in at left tackle this past week. He did not do a good job against Buffalo on Thursday Night Football, but that game was already out of hand. I like what I saw from Lamb. Graded out pretty nicely according to Pro Football Focus as well, but Armstead just is a different breed. Through 3 weeks, although he's missed about 4 quarters of play, he's the 4th graded or highest graded offensive tackle in football. That's pretty dang good. And when it comes to Kendall Fuller, you really need him. Not that the Titans have some elite passing attack. They do have a good pair of wide receivers in D-Hop and Calvin Ridley, but just look at your other options. If Fuller goes down, your boundary corners are looking at Storm Duck, the UDFA, who's injured, or you're going to have start Ethan Bonner. I'm not too big of a fan of those possibilities, so having both of them play would be great. Having none of them play would be a disaster, and I really do hope that Kendall Fuller is going to be able to go for Miami this week. But we'll ultimately have to see if he is. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel because when that news comes out on their statuses for Week 4 against the Tennessee Titans, we will have you covered. Hit that sub button halfway home to 61K. Join the channel as we have daily Dolphins content. All right, some injury news as well on Odell Beckham Jr. This is actually pretty positive. Mike McDaniel asked about OBJ, who this is the last week that a handful of players are going to be mandated to miss, by the way. Remember, if you're on the PUP list to start the year or placed on IR to start right before the season, like River Craycraft was and Cam Smith, you're missed the first 4 games. Well, this is Week 4. So after this week, Cam Smith, River Craycraft, Bradley Chubb, Cam Brown, and Odell Beckham Jr. are all eligible to start practicing. Now, I don't know if they will practice. I don't know if they will play in Week 5. But Mike McDaniel is optimistic that OBJ will practice when his window opens this upcoming Monday after Week 4. And there has been no setback so far for the wide receiver. And that's good because Miami absolutely needs Odell Beckham Jr. back as soon as possible because the production Miami has had outside of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle has been absolutely horrific. Malik Washington has yet to make his season debut. Braxton Berrios has done absolutely nothing. And then with Grant DuBose placed on IR, the wide receiver depth is very, very thin. Braxton Berrios has done 0 things for the Dolphins offense. No catches. And he can't get open to save his life. And if I'm going to be honest, once Malik Washington is back, I'd consider cutting Braxton Berrios. He's been horrible. And he's done some cool things on special teams. He had a nice 40-yard punt return on Sunday against the Seahawks. But you could have Malik Washington play that role when he is officially healthy and back. Braxton Berrios has been a non-factor for this team. I'd cut bait if you believe Malik Washington can handle his role. Make sure you do get this Dolphins quarter zip so you can represent the Miami Dolphins anywhere, whether you're going to a nice dinner, whether you're on the golf course, whether you're just hanging with some friends. This Q-zip has the versatility, the old school logo. I have this one specifically, that little charcoal black. I love it. On sale, chatsports.com/Dolphins Q-zip. Make sure you get yours today. Link's going to be in the description and comments of today's video. I want to round out the show with a positive note. We talked about good injury news on Odell Beckham Jr., but how about this fun little tidbit on potentially having Tyler Huntley being your starting quarterback in Week 4. Jalen Waddle was at his presser today and was asked about potentially having a rapport, chemistry with Tyler Huntley if he started. Well, there actually is some there because Waddle and Huntley trained together, not a bunch, but at times in South Florida. Huntley is from South Florida. Waddle training here, they got some passing and work together, which means there's at least some type of chemistry there, which is very, very positive. And to me, this just hammer homes the point and the choice that Huntley needs to be your starting quarterback. He just does. He has the most experience, not in this offense, but in the National Football League. He's had the most success. He started a damn playoff game like Skylar Thompson did for the Baltimore Ravens. To me, there should be no questions asked about who is the starting quarterback on this roster. It is Tyler Huntley for Week 4, and I would be disappointed with any other decision made by Mike McDaniel. But let me know who you think should start down in the comments section. Should it be Huntley? That's who I believe. Let me know. Type your THs if you think he should start. Type TB if you think it's Tim Boyle. Or type your STs if you believe it should be Skylar Thompson. And when that announcement is official, likely coming over the next few days, we will break it down and have a video for you. So make sure you are subscribed and make sure you have your notifications turned on as well so you never miss a beat of Miami Dolphins news, because even though the season's off to a rough start, we ain't going anywhere, and we're going to be live for every Dolphins game as well, so join the channel.